Hi everyone, Jeffy here, and welcome back to Around the World in Many Days. Today's episode is number 9, and it's titled A Key to the City. I think we know the drill at this point. I'm going to start by reading the message from Gladys to figure out where she is this time. Dear Puzzling, this is a Skyscrapers puzzle. Each letter represents a unique number between 1 and 6. Numbers inside the grid can be thought of as heights of towers located in each cell. Numbers outside the grid tell how many towers are visible from that direction in the row or column. A tower is visible if it does not have any higher tower in front of it in that direction. Each number is used exactly once on each row or column. The solved grid serves as a 36-letter Vigenère key to decipher where to find the final answer. And then we have some encrypted message. Today I have visited a remote city once filled with unimaginable riches. Can you guess where I am? Love, Gladys. Okay, so let's look at the skyscrapers. So we have the skyscrapers grid here. This is the link to open the editable version, which I have open in the corner. And then we have to decipher this as well. So let's see. In a normal skyscraper, we would have numbers here. And let's just show you an example. So if this was 3, this would mean that we see from this direction in the column, we would see 3 towers here. And each cell would have a number representing the height of the tower in that cell. So for example, if we had 3, 4, and 6, something like this, and these have to be different. So 1 to 6, each ones. This would now satisfy this 3 clue because it sees the 3 here. This is the first tower. This is a larger one, a taller one than the 3. So it sees this, but it does not see anything that's behind this higher tower here. So anything that's higher, this 5 would mask this one. This 6 masks all of these because it's higher than these. So that would mean that this 3 sees a 3, 4, and 6. And obviously, if it was something like 2 here and 6 here, that would also be satisfied because it sees the 3, it sees the 4, it sees the 6, but it doesn't see the 2 because this is behind a higher tower, behind the 4 here. And it doesn't see any of these because they are behind the 6. So that's how normal skyscrapers works. Now, we don't have numbers here. We have letters. So each of these, we have 6 different letters, and each of these is going to be a separate, different number. So first of all, we are going to have to keep track of what numbers we can have for what letters. And we didn't do this last time. We sort of kept track in our heads, or at least I kept track in my head what number can be what letter can be what number, I should say. But let's do it differently this time. Let's open up Notepad and actually write down what numbers can be what letters. So the letters we can have are, we have F, M, O, Q, X, and Y. That's the 6 letters that we have. So let's start by thinking about extreme numbers. So if these were numbers, a good place to start in a skyscrapers is the extreme numbers because they're the most restricted. Let's say this was a 1. Now we already know from this 1 we would know what this number is. This would have to be the 6 because the 6 masks everything that it can only see the 1 tower. And if the 6 was anywhere else than the first cell, this 1 would be necessarily see the first cell and it would necessarily see the 6 because you can't hide a 6 anywhere. So 1 would force a 6 here. So that's restricting. A 6 here would be even more restricting. because a 6 means it can see all the towers, which means none of them are behind a bigger number, which means they are numbers in order, like this. Oops, sorry. 4, then 5 here, and 6. This would be the only option for a 6 column. So this a 6 here would force all these. So let's look at which of the outside numbers could be ones. Maybe that's the place to start. So could y be 1? If y is 1, then this has to be 6. O is 6, but then this would be 1 and this would have to be 6 as well. Well, we can't have, first of all, we can't have O and M be the same number. And also we can't have two 6's in the column. So multiple reasons why that's broken. So y cannot be 1. So I'm going to mark 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for y. Similar logic for this q here. If q is 1, O is 6, and q is 1, f is 6. So these are both 6. That's impossible, so q can't be 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, this x, could this be 1? This would mean m is 6. We have another m here, and that would mean y can only see 1. So x being 1 would force y to be 1, and they have to be different, so x can't be 1. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I think O can be 1. 1 inside the grid is not really restricting at all. M similarly can be 1. Can F be 1? This would be 6. And 1 here doesn't really limit this Q at all, except it can't be 6. Except it can't be 1, I should say. But we would already know that if F was 1. So I think ones, that's all we know about ones. Now from the other direction, what about 6's? Y being 6 would make this be 1, 2, 3, and so forth. This would be 1, but this would be 1 also. So we would have two 1's here. So y can't be 6. Q similarly can't be 6 because these would both be 1. These would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the 6 to work. And these would also be the same numbers, right? What about, we had y, what about x? Can x be a 6? This would be 1, doesn't restrict these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think x can be 6. What about q and y couldn't? What about f? Can f be 6? That would mean this is 6. That would mean q is 1. If q is 1, this is also 6. Can't have two 6's. So f is not 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could m be 6? This would make y being 1. It only sees this 6 here. But x would also only see 6. So x would be 1 and y would be 1. So that's impossible. So m is not 6. O cannot be 6 because if you look at this being 6, that's 1 and that's 1 and they're different letters. So O can't be 6. And now we see x is the only one that still has the possibility of being 6. So we know that must then be 6. And this being 6 means this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm actually going to pencil mark these numbers. I didn't do it last time, sort of kept track, but I'm going to do it this time so you can actually see visually what numbers are, what letters are what numbers. So x being 6 here. Now we know m is 1 now because this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in order, and m is 1 here. So that's what we know, and now we remove the options from m, and we know these aren't 1 because m was 1. So now we have 4 unknowns, and they can be 2, 3, 4, or 5. Well, this 4, oops, this 4 here, sorry, moving my windows around so I can actually see what I'm pointing at. This 4 here is restricts this F and this O. So neither of these can be 4 because then there would be 2 4s in the row. So O can't be 4, F can't be 4. We also know, well, we already knew these can't be 6, O and M, because X was 6. What else? This 6 actually solves this Q now, because Q sees this. You always see the first tower. There's nothing hiding it, and you always see the 6 because that's the highest possible tower. You can always see that, and nothing is visible behind a 6. So all these are hidden, which means Q can only be 2. Whatever this O is, it's smaller than 6 and it's always visible. So Q is 2, O is not 2, F is not 2, Y is not 2. And we can deduce something else, but let me just fill in the Q's first. 2, 2, 2, 2. Is that all the Q's? I think it is. And if you look at this, what we are keeping track of, these can be 3 and 4, 5 only. So in whichever order they are, these take up the 3 and 5, which means Y is the only one that can be 4. So Y is 4. Four, 4, 4, 4, 4. And F and O are the unknowns, which can be 3 or 5. Okay, but let's see, we can fill in some numbers now in the grid. So let's see, this is 2. So it sees this and then the 6. This is 2. So it's going to see a 6 somewhere. It's going to be somewhere here. It's going to see this F, regardless of what it is. But it can't see the 4, because the 4 would be the third number it sees. And this is a 2. So that means F must be higher than this 4 in order for it to block 2 blocks out of this 4. So F can't be 3. It must be 5. And O is 3. And I'll pencil mark all of these. So O is 3, 3 and 3, and then the F's are 5s. So let's see now. We have all our pencil marks in place. So this is now a regular skyscrapers puzzle. We've figured out which letters are which numbers. So let's look at this 4. Where does the 6 go in this column here? Can't go there. This would make this, there would not be enough that it sees because it can't see anything behind the 6. The 6 can't be here because this would be 1. The 6 can't be here because this would be 1. So 6 must be here. What about on this row? Where can the 6 go? Well, it can't go here because there's already 6 here. Can't go here because if it was here, this could see at most 3, right? It can't see anything behind the 6. Could be here. Can't be here because that would make this Q a 1. So the 6 must be here. And now this already satisfies the Q, regardless of what this is. It sees this, and it sees the 6 and nothing behind it. What about this number? Now we have 1, 4, and 5 remaining. If this was 5, then this could not see 4 numbers. It would see the 5 and then the 6. So it can't be 5. If this was 4, this would see the 4, 5, and 6 at most. It couldn't see any of the lower numbers, so that's impossible. So the 1 is the only option here. And now we need 4 and 5, and regardless of whether this is 4 or 5, it blocks this, so it's 1, 2, 3, and 4 that this one sees. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, this sees 4 towers. So this is already satisfied regardless of what we pick for this one. Same story here. This can be 4 or 5. The queue is already satisfied. It sees this, and then the 6. What about this column here? We need 2 and 4, right? If this was 4, this could not see 5 towers here, because the 4 would block 3, 2, 1 behind it, and there would only be 3 numbers available for it to see. This can't be the 4. 4 must be here, and this is the 2. Now then, what have we not looked? This is satisfied. This is this O and this 3 and this 6. This is satisfied. It sees the 5. It doesn't know where the 6 is, but it definitely sees the 6, and it can't see anything else. This is not yet satisfied, so let's see. Where can the 6 be on the row? It can't be here, because that would make this at most 3, like three cells that you can see. It can't be here, because it would be at most 4. Can't be here because of this 6, so this is the only place where a 6 can go. Now this 6 forces now this far, solves this 4, because this 4 only sees 4 cells, these 4, so these must be in numerical order. This can't be hidden, so the only number that fits here is 2. A 4 or a 5 would hide this and make this a 3. So that's a 2. Then what about these? We still need 4 and 5. Okay, yeah, this must be 5, because look, the 6 is in the 6 is the last number here from this direction. So if this was 4, wherever the 5 was, it would be seen by this queue, this 2, making it a 3. So this must be 5. This is a 4. And now this is satisfied. It sees a 5, doesn't see any lower numbers behind it, and it sees a 6. This is satisfied. It sees this and this. And also we know this is a 5, because that's just the last number in the row. So now, can we say anything about this 4? This number can be 2, 3, and 4. Now it can't be a 4, because if this is a 4, then we only see 5 and 6 here. That's not enough numbers. That's only 3 numbers. So this can't be a 4. But it could be... sorry, did I say 2, 3, and 4? Yeah, I did say, because we need 2, 3, and 4 on the row here. But 3 is impossible, because we already have a 3 in the column. So in fact, 4 is impossible and 3 is impossible, leaving 2. So this is 2. It sees 2 and 3. It sees a 6 somewhere, and it must see one more number. So what are these then? These must be 3 and 4, and they're not restricted. We don't know. And there are no limiting clues here. There's no clue here, no clue here, no clue here. And this clue doesn't care which number this is, because it's behind the 6. So let's look at something else then. This 5, it must have one number that is hidden, and it has to be the 1, because the 1 is always going to be hidden, because this is a 2. So the 4 and 5 are in order. So that means 4 is either of these, and the 5 is either of these. But I think both options are possible for both of those numbers. And the 1 is not restricted in any way. It could be any of these. What about this 4 here? What can this number be? Now remember, we have a 4 here, so it can't be 4, 5, or 6. 3 would work. 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the visible towers. 3 would work, but 3 is already, we already have a 1 and 3. So the only remaining number that this can be is 2. Can't be 4, 5, 6, because it would prevent this from happening, would prevent this from being 4. And it can't be 1 and 3. So it has to be a 2. Now then, we know whether these are in order or not, because if they were in order, this would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It already sees this. It already sees this. So it can only see one of these. So the bigger one has to be in front. So that means this is 5 and this is 4. Also, we knew this was 5 anyway because it's in the column. 5 is in the column already. Okay. What about 5 here? Can we solve 5 here? It can't be here. Well, it can't be a 5 here because there's a 5 in the row. There's a 5 here, so it can't be here. There's a 5 here, so it can't be here. That's the only place where the 5 can go in the column. Now, this row needs a 1 and a 4, and there's a 4 here. So this must be the 1, and this must be the 4. Can we solve these? So 3 and 4, is it? 4 is already here. So this is a 3, and this is the 4. What about, what are we missing here now? Oh, actually, we should see whether this is already satisfied. 2, 3, 4, all seen. The 6, wherever it is seen. And the 1, whichever it is hidden. So this is already satisfied. Okay, what about this? Does this care whether these are in order? The 1 is missing and it's always hidden. So 1, 2, 3, wherever it is, and these 2 make 4. Okay, so this is satisfied regardless of which order these are. But I mean, I guess there is a simple way. This is a 3, so it can't be a 3 here. 3 is here, 1 is here. What about, well, what are we missing? 6 is missing from this. And what else? 6 and a 2. Well, a 2 can't be here. So that's the 6 and that's the 2. And this is missing 1 and 6. So 6 is here and 1 is here. Now we don't get the message of this being correct because we still have to convert these back to these letters. And I'm going to do this next. So make the force y. And then I guess, remove these as well. It might matter. It might not give you the correct, the message saying is correct if you have these pencil marks there, because it'll think it's not finished yet. So M's are 1s. Then we have Q's are 2s. F's are 5s. X's are 6s. And O's are 3s. Okay, and that says we are correct. Actually, it said Happy New Year, but it means we are correct. So this is the grid that we needed. Now, what to do with this information, you ask? And it was actually stated here in the description. So once we have the answer, the solved grid serves as a 36-letter Vigenère key to decipher where to find the final answer. So now we have to decrypt this entire thing. Now, one way to do it is to just look up a solver in the online and just copy paste these in. But you can do it by hand, and I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do a few steps at the start and then show you the answer, because it's just takes a long time and it's just repeating the same steps all over again. But let's just put this encrypted text there. Where's our notepad? It's here. So remove this. Put the encrypted text here, and now put our key under it. So our key is going to be now reading from starting from here. So our key is going to be OXY FQM YFX MOQ FYQ XMO QM YFX MQF OXY and XMO QYF. I hope I typed this in correctly. And now type this in correctly. Not that I typed it incorrectly, but yeah. Now we just fix the spacing to match the actual message. And then we look at, and then this key would just be repeated, but I'll do it later. You just repeat the key as many times as you need. But okay, so Vigenère cipher, how does that work? So in the let me just give these letters each letter a numeric value. So this is how you do it: A, B, C, D, E, F. You type out the alphabet, and each of these has a number associated with it. So A is 1. Did something wrong there. Let's just see. That should be 5. Yeah. A is 0. B is 1, and so forth. And then I guess I can put the tens digits there as well. So A is associated with 0. I is 8. P is 15. W is 22, and so forth. And how you encrypt the message is you put a message there, and you have your key, and you sum these two together. So basically, if F is 5, that means you, for this letter, you move this A forwards by 5. So that would make 0 plus 5 is 5, so this would be F. That would be the encrypted part. And then B would be 1 plus 5, that would be 6, which is G. And then this would be 7, which is H. And this would be the encrypted message then. Now to decrypt, you do the same thing, but in the other direction. So you have this encrypted letter, which is, let's say, G, which is 6. You remove, you deduct this number from it, so 14. So 6 minus 14, and this would be then the number that, so let's see, 6 minus 14, and obviously that's a negative number, that's not minus 8, but remember these go around this wraparound. So from A you go back to Z and so forth, and in this direction as well. If you pass the Z, you go back here. So you can just add or subtract 26 whenever you need to get a number between 0 and 25. So minus 8 plus 26 is 18. So this first number would be this 18 here, which is S. And you just repeat this. So E would be 4. And then this X, you subtract this X, which is 23. And you get minus 19. And you add again 26 to make it, put it in the proper range. So that is 7, isn't it? And that's H. So that would be H. We'll do a couple of more of these. So G again, that's a 6. Then we would take out Y, which is 24. So that's 18. That's minus 18, sorry. Add 26 again. So that's now, what is it, 8? And that would be I. Then we would have K, which is 10. 10 minus this f here, which is 5. And that's just 5, which is already in the correct range. So we just use 5, which is the f here. And let's look at this j still. That's the first word because we have a space here. So j is 9. We take out q, which is 16. That's minus 7. At 26 again, we get 19. And 19 is this t here. So the first word of the decrypted message is going to be shift. And I'm going to keep doing this, but I'm not going to keep the video rolling because it's just repeating the same thing. So I will just show you the decrypted message in a bit. All right, we are back. So let's look at what the final message was when decrypted. So here it says shift each letter 4 times backwards in the alphabet. The answer starts from bottom left corner going clockwise. So that would mean that we have to look at our grid again. We shift these 4 backwards in the alphabet. So let's look at that. O 4 backwards. O is 14, so that would mean that's 10. So that would be K. I'm going to mark these. Maybe I'll mark these little corner numbers for the shifted letters. So O's would be K's. Then we would have X's, and X is 23, so that would be 19. That's a T here. So T, 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 and T. Now then we would have Y's. Y is 24, so that would be 24 minus 4 is 20, so that's the U here. So U, 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 U. Then we had F. F is number 5. 5 minus 4 is 1, so that's B. Then we had Q, and Q is 16. 16 minus 4 is 12, so that's the M here. Oops, now I marked the M's instead of the Q's. Let's just try again. This Q has to be the M. Okay, confused myself there. And then M is the last letter. So M, 12 minus 4 is 8. So I. M's are I's. Oh, and here. Okay, so now we have the shifted grid. And now it said, so we shifted them back in the alphabet. The answer starts from the bottom left corner going clockwise. So if we read from here, it said Timbuktu. Timbuktu is the answer, and then it just continues with nonsense. But since we were looking for, what were we looking for? A remote city once filled with unimaginable riches. And if we look at a couple of last times, I didn't have the article open on the place, but I have it open this time. So let's just move this a little bit. So Timbuktu, which is in Mali, very remote, and used to be the home of one of the richest men in the world, Mansa Musa, at some point exactly 1325. So that is our current destination, Timbuktu in Mali. And now the most exciting part of all, let's look at the map. So here's the current map. This is all the episodes we covered so far. So last time we were in Ghana, Elmina Castle, and now we're in Timbuktu in Mali. So this is the entire trip so far. Obviously far from around the world trip still, but we are making progress through Africa. So that is episode number 9. Episode number 10 is going to be, and I'm going to scroll down again to show you. You can actually just click on it because we are a little bit behind schedule. The episode 10 is already posted. It's named Behind Great Walls, and it is. Do I remember what Behind Great Walls is? I hesitate to just click there, but actually I'm going to just click there. So the Behind Great Walls is going to be a sort of a Sudoku and then a word search puzzle. So sneak peek to that, but again, you can just go and click on it now and try solving it. But that is all for episode 9, and I will see you in episode 10. Thanks for watching.